You think you understand her, that her words mean exactly what they say. But the female mind is not a linear path. It's a maze designed for survival, for strategy, for control. While men are taught to conquer the world, women have mastered the art of navigating it, often unseen, often underestimated. History has always feared what it cannot understand. And if there's one force that has remained an enigma, misunderstood yet undeniably powerful, it's the female psyche. We assume thoughts are spoken, that words are windows into the mind. But if that were true, how many wars could have been avoided? How many betrayals foreseen? The female mind doesn't just communicate, it maneuvers, it anticipates, it reads between the lines before they are even written. Consider Cleopatra, one of the most strategically brilliant rulers in history. Rome saw her as a seductress, but they failed to see the mind beneath the beauty. She didn't just use charm, she used perception. While men fought battles with swords, she fought with influence, weaving alliances like a spider spins its web imperceptible until it was too late. And when Rome finally realized the extent of her power, they destroyed her. This isn't just history, it's a pattern of misinterpretation. Men see direct actions, while women work through subtext, intuition, and unseen currents. Not because of deceit, but because of survival. Because for centuries, power wasn't given to them. It had to be taken invisibly. Conversation is never just a conversation. Every pause, every change in tone, every fleeting expression is a message. It's an unspoken language that most fail to hear. This is why throughout history, women have been both feared and misunderstood. Not because they lacked power, but because their power was invisible. In 19th century China, Empress Dowager Cixi was a concubine, an expendable figure in the imperial court. Yet by the time she died, she had ruled China for nearly 50 years. How? Not by force, not by claiming power outright, but by weaving a web of influence so intricate that even the most powerful men bowed to it without realizing they were being controlled. She spoke in suggestions, not demands. She played the long game while her opponents looked for quick victories, and in the end she won. The power of subtext is this: it allows control without conflict, authority without resistance, a strategy honed over centuries. Because when the world refuses to give you power, you learn how to take it without anyone realizing it's been taken. This isn't just history, it's hardwired psychology. Research shows that women, on average, are more attuned to emotional intelligence, microexpressions, and social nuance. They notice shifts in tone, slight hesitations, and changes in body language faster than men. It's a skill set developed through generations of necessity. A study conducted by Cambridge University in 2009 found that women consistently scored higher than men in recognizing emotional shifts from facial expressions alone. In a controlled test, they could detect deception faster, predict hidden emotions with greater accuracy, and adjust their responses accordingly, all in real time. This isn't magic. It's not manipulation. It's pattern recognition, a survival instinct refined through time. If everything you've been told about power was wrong, then what else don't you see? If control isn't about strength but perception, then what does that mean for the world we live in today? There's a reason why history has always been fascinated with the woman's intuition. It's been called supernatural, illogical, even manipulative. But science suggests something else. Women have been found to pick up microexpressions faster, detect emotional shifts sooner, and subconsciously calculate risk and trust better than most men. One fascinating case: Christine de Pizan. In the 1400s, in a time when women were dismissed as incapable of deep thought, she wrote the Book of the City of Ladies, challenging the entire intellectual world. She saw through the biases of her time and called them out, centuries before feminism had a name. But how? What allowed her to see what others ignored? The answer lies in how the female brain processes information. While men's brains tend to specialize in linear problem-solving, women's brains show a greater connection between hemispheres, meaning they link logic with emotion, past with present, instinct with analysis. It's why a woman can sense a lie even when the words sound right. Why she can predict a shift in someone's mood before it happens. It's not magic. It's an advanced system of subconscious pattern recognition. It's what made legendary figures like Cleopatra so politically sharp, turning charm and strategy into a weapon. What seemed like mere intuition was actually a lifetime of observing the smallest, unnoticed details. So why does it seem unpredictable? Because when something isn't easily explained, people label it as irrational. But what if it's just operating at a different level? One that isn't bound to direct, step-by-step reasoning, but pulls from multiple layers of perception all at once. What if unpredictability is just another form of intelligence, one designed to navigate a world that's constantly changing? That's where we go next. Because if the female mind is built for adaptation, then the real question isn't why it's mysterious, but what that mystery allows it to do. And the answer, more than most people realize. There's a reason why women, across cultures and time periods, have often been seen as the keepers of social balance, the silent architects of relationships, and the unseen power behind many great movements. Their minds operate in ways that science is still trying to fully grasp. For example, did you know that women's brains stay younger longer? Studies show that, metabolically, the female brain is about 3 years younger than the male brain of the same age. This might explain why, in old age, women tend to retain sharper cognitive functions, stronger memories, and a greater ability to adapt to changing environments. But that's just one piece of the puzzle, the power of emotional intelligence. While society often emphasizes raw intelligence and logic, research consistently finds that emotional intelligence, the ability to read, understand, and respond to emotion, is just as critical for success. And this is where the female mind excels. Women, on average, score higher in empathy and social awareness, meaning they can sense unspoken tensions, navigate complex social dynamics, and adjust their responses accordingly. This isn't just a social skill, it's a survival mechanism. In fact, research suggests that women's brains are wired to handle multiple layers of communication at once. While men tend to focus on the words being spoken, women pick up on tone changes, micro-expressions, the tiny facial movements that reveal true emotions, subtle shifts in body language. This is why, in many cases, a woman can tell when someone is lying even when there's no clear evidence. It's not magic, it's pattern recognition on an unconscious level. This ability to read people and situations has given women an edge in influence and persuasion. Ever heard of the female advantage in negotiations? Studies have shown that when negotiating on behalf of someone else, women actually tend to outperform men, securing better deals, higher salaries, and stronger outcomes. The reason? Their ability to read emotional cues and adjust their strategy in real time. Even in nature, we see this play out. In species where females take the lead in social structures, the ability to navigate relationships, detect deception, and form alliances determines survival. So what does all of this mean? It means that the mystery of the female mind isn't just about emotions, unpredictability, or intuition. It's about a different way of processing the world, one that is built for adaptability, resilience, and influence. And maybe, just maybe, the reason it has remained so mysterious isn't because it can't be understood, but because it was never meant to be fully predictable in the first place.